Cruella de Vil. If she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will. To see her is to take a sudden chill. Cruella, Cruella de Vil. Glare in her look, the eyes in her stare. You better beware. The world is such a wholesome place. Cruella de
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and what an embarrassment for the feminist Joker film Cruella. Now, comparing Cruella to Joker was not anything that anyone did organically. This was done by the shill media in a lame attempt to build up some sort of press for the film, as nobody really cared about it. And now that we have some box office and streaming numbers, my suspicions are now confirmed. Now, maybe this film was just not for me. I can't imagine thinking that it was. However, I did enjoy Zoolander, which focused heavily on fashion, but Cruella is a winding road, a self-indulgent film that is far too long and lacks much inspiration. The idea that you would be able to turn Cruella into this anti-hero and to think it was like Joker proves that you don't know anything about the Joker movie. Arthur Fleck was already in a bad place and kind of driven to that new role through through the story, everything that happened to him. Cruella was the fashion. She wanted to be in fashion, I suppose. They both wear funny clothes. Now, this is no dig on Emma Stone. I think she's a fine actress, certainly above average, and did a fine job in this film. But I don't really care about fashion or well-trained Dalmatians and the fate in which her mother met. They were just dogs that were doing what they were trained to do. And so far, it's not looking great for Cruella. Emma Stone talks. Cruella, it's very different from the Joker in many ways. Yeah, that's the understatement of a century. It's hard to call someone a bad and completely when you see them for the very beginning, Emma Stone said of Cruella. The Oscar-winning actor will portray the famed fashionista in Disney's upcoming live-action Cruella de Vil origin story. The movie has already made waves on social media after the first trailer was released. Comparisons were instantly made to another recent award-winning male-led project, Joker. It's very different from Joker in many ways. I would agree. Better director, better actors, better script, better cinematography. Soundtrack, maybe I'll give to Cruella, if you're into that kind of stuff. However, while there are certainly differences between the two movies, Stone can see why the thematic lines could be drawn between the two. I would never even remotely compare myself to Joaquin Phoenix, she continues. I wish I was more like him. Her director, Craig Gillespie, understands an audience need to have cultural point of reference. There are some really deep emotional things that Cruella is dealing with that send her to the villainous, darker side. So in a sense, similar, he says, but it's definitely its own thing. Just sort of a reframe of Cruella. I'm sure that these themes were planted by the media. How Cruella director felt about the movie being compared to Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. I love Joker. They did an amazing job on that. So I was happy if they wanted to compare it, but I knew it's drastically different to that tonally. There were some people calling it like, were you worried about that? And I was thinking, as soon as the movie comes out, people are going to see that it's its own thing, and it's not the worst thing in the world to be in the same sentence as Joker. But I was a little surprised on how much it caught on. Well, no, it was, again, I don't think something that Emma Stone wanted, or even maybe the director. But certainly from a media perspective, they wanted that. Of course, nobody went to see the movie in the theater. A Quiet Place Part 2 trounces Disney's Cruella at the box office. The box office numbers are, of course, a little bit different these days because A Quiet Place 2 is in theater only. And, of course, Cruella being a Disney production, people can look forward to watching it on Disney+. The numbers reports Paramount's A Quiet Place grossed $47.4 million over the holiday weekend, although they aren't reporting numbers from Memorial Day Monday just yet. They do report that it's the biggest hit at the box office theater since they reopened, handily beating Godzilla vs. Kong, which debuted at $32 million. Cruella came in at a very distant second place, grossing just $21.3 million. Well, the thing is, Cruella is not a movie for kids. Now, Samba TV does report that 686,000 households streamed the film over Memorial Day weekend. They claim that is 37% less than the number of people who streamed Mulan over Labor Day weekend, with that being 1.1 million households. And Mulan was a complete disaster, a box office flunk. You can see back here. While Mulan will not likely make back the $200 million budget, the film still did somewhat well on its opening weekend. Compared to Disney's other live-action remakes, Mulan looks like a failure on paper. But was it a success for Disney+? See, this is one of the things that's going to change the way in which we report on modern films, because we don't really know, what the end game is, how many new subscriptions were sold just for that movie, and how many were coincidentally new subscribers that very same weekend. Cruella first weekend on Disney Plus was 39% Mulan, 39% behind Mulan. Both titles were available on Disney Plus subscribers at an extra cost to own of $30. While Mulan wasn't released in theaters stateside due to the deeper phases of lockdown, Cruella actually had the benefit of opening in 3,800 theaters. Extrapolating the Disney Plus premiere cash earned by Cruella in Samba TV households, the Craig Gillespie-directed movie generated an estimated $20.5 million, and that is a sum that Disney doesn't have to share with theater owners. Like normally, I actually didn't know this until recently, but theater owners and film companies generally split the ticket revenue. So even if your sales are down 30%, you're still netting out more with the streaming service. Altogether, Cruella made $47 million in the box office and Disney Plus premiere money in its first weekend. Mulan's weekend, Mula in Samba TV households amounted to $33 million. Now, Samba TV only measures viewership of at least 5 minutes in smart TV to terrestrial TVs with a panel size of 3 million U.S. households. So it's an estimate. It's the best estimate we have right now. The fact that it drew 83,000 in the UK households, where it's available on Disney Plus for an extra $20. That's an extra $1 million. The movie made $2.2 million at the UK box office. So Cruella also did 15,000 in Germany. So, ultimately, it's fine. In the U.S., female viewers over-indexed to +4, as did black viewers +2, Hispanic viewers +52, and Asian +53. Ultimately, the film just didn't do very well. And I think it's mostly because this was a film that nobody asked for. Nobody wanted. And it was going to be a tough sell from the very beginning. The idea that anybody dared to compare this to the Joker is hilarious. Now, the people that did see it seemed to like it. I think I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes. It was very high for both. You see 74% with the critics, 97% with the audiences. So it's just a movie that probably didn't have a home. This isn't a movie for kids, although a movie about Cruella de Vil may not be anyway. I'm not sure I care to see an origin story where you try to have this redeeming factor, which is what they try to do with this film. And I'd say it's probably going to end up being a failure. Probably not Emma Stone's fault. More like a movie that just didn't have a home. Maybe down the road it'll pick up more steam. But it certainly wasn't enough to get anybody into the box office. I mean, if you look at A Quiet Place, this scored well with both critics and the audience, and also did very well in the box office, significantly better than Cruella. We'll have to wait and see how the box office recovers this year. I'm hoping so, because I know a lot of people work there and need those jobs. especially kids home from summer and movie fans and all sorts of stuff like that. Cruella, did you see it? Did you want to see it? Was it not for you? I'll be interested in reading your comments in the comment section down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.